Hello, this is Matthew Kane, Family Law Facilitator for Siskiyou County Superior Court. This brief tutorial is for the summons, which is a mandatory form to file a divorce, a legal separation, or for annulment of marriage or registered domestic partnership. And I'm going to go over the form and tell you how to fill this out. Um, It starts with giving notice to the respondent. The purpose of this form dates back to the old days where the court had to issue a summons to tell the person who was being sued that they were being sued. So that's where this form comes from. Now it is used to let your ex know that you are suing them for divorce or separation of marriage or domestic partnership. Either way, the respondent is your ex. So you'll write in name of your ex goes there. The petitioner is you. So the petitioner is the name of person filing the divorce or separation. Those two things will always be the same. The person who filed will always be the petitioner, and the person who is responding will always be the respondent. Okay. At this point, you probably do not have a case number, so we'll leave this blank. The summons will tell the respondent some important information, including the fact that they have 30 calendar days to file a response. That date is also important for the petitioner. If there is no response within the 30 days, then the petitioner may ask the court for a default judgment. So make sure that as petitioner, you know when the respondent was served so that you can move on to the next step in the process. And if you're the respondent, make sure you keep track of the time from the date you are served so that you can file a response in the proper amount of time. Down in paragraph number 1, down here, it asks for the name and address of the court. I'm preparing this from Siskiyou County Superior Court. However, this form is required throughout the state of California. If you are listening to this or watching this and you are going to file your petition in another court, just make sure that you have the proper name and address for that court. Some of the bigger cities give their family law courthouses names after important people. Some just call them family law. Either way, do a little Google search or internet search and find out to make sure that whenever you file, you are filing in the right court. Okay, so for people in Siskiyou County, this would be and the address is okay. Now under number 2, it asks for the name, address, and telephone number of the petitioner's attorney or the petitioner without an attorney. If you are filling this out, I am going to assume that you are a petitioner without an attorney, because if you had an attorney, the attorney would probably be filling this form out. I will also let you know that on every mandatory form, anywhere it asks for the name and address of a party without attorney, 99% of the time it's going to be asking for your name and address. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you see a box and it says name and address, think, oh yeah, that's me. I need to put my name and address. So we'll put in petitioner's name, 1234 Main Street, Wairika, because that's where I am, and you get the point. The clerk will fill in this box, and the other important part about the summons, on the second page, there are Restraining orders, not necessarily what you think of in terms of like domestic violence or harassment. These are just restraining orders because they tell the parties what they can and cannot do until a judge makes an order. Um, for example, once you file your papers, then this applies to the petitioner. They cannot take the children out of state, apply for a passport without the written consent of the other party. Now, as soon as the summons is served on the respondent, then these also apply to the respondent. So just so you know, if you file these papers and then you take the kids to your neighboring state for a shopping trip, you may be in violation of these restraining orders, even if it's something that you have always done. Best to probably get that in writing before you continue on. You also cannot create more debts. You cannot sell, get rid of, give away, hide anything of value that might be part of the estate. Um, and that is all for this form.